We arrived in Mallorca with one plan: find the perfect beach and never leave it. One small detour to the capital later, and 2 full days disappeared. Palma does that to people. We climbed a mountain, rode an open bus, got completely lost, and found a cathedral that stopped us cold. This city doesn't ask you to plan it. It just asks you to show up. Hey everyone, welcome back to Life in Moments, the channel where every trip starts as a destination and ends as something you didn't expect. Today we're in Palma de Mallorca, the capital of Mallorca, and honestly, a city that earns every bit of attention you give it. We spent 2 full days here, climbing through a forest in 30-degree heat to reach a castle, riding an open-top bus with the wind in our faces, wandering streets where the stones under your feet feel older than anything back home. We cooled off at a fountain, stumbled into a hidden garden with a view of the sea, and nearly missed the last tourist bus of the day. It was a lot, and we loved every minute of it. There's one thing I want you to see before this episode ends, a moment that caught us completely off guard. I'll get to it. But first, let's start from the beginning. My wife and I were staying in Magaluf, a beach resort about 15 kilometers from Palma, and getting to the capital couldn't have been easier. Public bus, pay by card at the door, no taxis, no apps, no drama. As we got closer to the city, I had one destination in mind: Bellver Castle. A hilltop fortress with what people online called incredible views. I'd never been there. I had no idea what the route would actually look like. I just knew it was somewhere up there. Something we weren't prepared for. We got off at the nearest bus stop and opened maps. The route looked simple enough on screen. Walk this way, turn here. What maps didn't mention was the hill, or the forest, or the fact that it was 30 degrees and we had no water. The streets gave way to a park. The park gave way to forest paths, steep, rocky, and the sun was absolutely relentless. At first, my wife and I just looked at each other. Is this right? Are we really supposed to go up here? But the map said yes, straight up. And then something shifted. Somewhere halfway up, the frustration turned into excitement. You start to feel like you're earning something. Like whatever's at the top is going to mean more because you worked for it. The whole city laid out below us. The cathedral, the harbor, cruise ships that look like toys from up here. The long curve of the bay. I don't think either of us said anything for a moment. This is Bellver Castle, built between 1300 and 1311 by King James II of Mallorca. Circular in shape, almost unheard of for a fortress of this era. 700 years of history, right here on this hill. Inside, exhibits about the island going back much further. Palma was founded by the Romans in 123 BC, over 2,000 years ago. The city has been Arab, Christian, traded, and fought over for centuries. You can feel that weight when you stand here. From the top, even better. People were taking selfies, laughing, and the castle stood there completely unbothered, as it has for 7 centuries. But the real Palma, the one I wasn't expecting, was waiting on the way back down. On the way back, we had no plan, just towards the waterfront, roughly, and that's when Palma opened up in a different way. Old stone, flowers everywhere, palm trees appearing between buildings, a Mediterranean city, but with its own character. Something Arab, something Spanish, something older that you can't quite name. We followed some enormous walls along the street, found a canal that once carried water to the sea. Dry now, but still beautiful. We just kept walking. One thing that struck us about Palma, the greenery. It's everywhere. Palm trees, flowering plants, exotic species you wouldn't expect to see just growing along the street. The city takes its nature seriously. We passed through a beautiful park, lush, shaded, with fountains right in the middle of it all. And after climbing a mountain in that heat, a fountain felt like the greatest luxury in the world. We stopped. We stayed a while. We had absolutely no regrets. We ended up in a museum garden almost by accident, following those big stone walls. A cafe, a few sculptures, a view over the sea that nobody had told us about. We just turned left instead of right. That was day 1. My wife and I were exhausted and completely won over. Next morning, she stayed at the hotel. I went back to Palma alone with one specific plan, and I almost blew it. Next day, I went back to Palma alone. The plan: hop on, hop off tourist bus. See the city from a different angle, higher up, open air. I found the right stop. Plaza de España, crossed the road. One small problem. The last bus of the day left at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I found this out approximately 6 minutes before 5. And then, there it was, coming around the corner, the last bus of the day. On time, waiting for no one. Around 30 euros at the door, card accepted. The driver warned me the route would be cut short. Last ride of the day. For a moment I thought I'd miss everything. But it turned out my main destination was still on the route. While I was standing here waiting, I was thinking about how much time we spent on this trip just figuring things out. Which bus goes where? Where to buy tickets? Is this tour worth the money? So I put it all together in one place. A travel site I built for the destinations I visit, starting with Mallorca. Everything is there. All the spots from this episode, links to buy tickets, book tours, arrange a taxi, get flights, travel insurance, eSIM. I also put a map of Palma with all the key stops. So you can just open it and go. No searching, no second guessing. Think of it as the shortcut we didn't have. Link is in the description. Riding an open-top bus through this city, honestly one of the best decisions of the whole trip. The old streets, the cathedral, the castle through the trees, the harbour full of yachts, all of it right there in front of you. The views were absolutely incredible. Let's take a look together.
Now I understand every road, every stop.
wow. Just wow. These views, I still can't quite believe it. Honestly, one of the most unforgettable rides I've ever taken. And next, we're heading to the cathedral. Stay with us. I walked through a small park, green, shaded, peaceful, then turned into a narrow alleyway with stone steps leading upward. Old walls on both sides, flowers spilling over the edges. No idea what was waiting at the top. And then I turned the corner. I had seen photos of Cathedral La Sceaux before, but nothing prepared me for what it actually looks like when it's right there in front of you, glowing in the afternoon sun. It's massive, breathtaking. Every inch of the facade covered in intricate carvings, sculptures, details that could keep you staring for hours. Built over nearly 4 centuries, and it shows every bit of that ambition. This isn't just a building. It feels like the city's soul made out of stone. And here's the funny thing. To fit the whole thing in one photo, you have to press yourself flat against the building across the square and shoot almost straight up. And it still barely fits. Around us, tour groups, horse carriages, people making TikToks. The beautiful, chaotic energy of a place that everyone is drawn to. And above all of it, the cathedral. Calm, golden, completely in its own world. As it has been for 800 years. I walked down to the lake below the cathedral. Much quieter there. Someone was playing music nearby. I'm not sure where it was coming from. It suited the moment perfectly. Before we wrap, a few things worth knowing if you're planning this trip yourself. I usually go through all the practical tips right here in the video. How to get around, what to pay, what to watch out for. But to keep things moving today, I've put everything on our travel page. How to pay on the local bus, a little trick you really don't want to miss. Why official taxis here are actually worth choosing over the apps. Tickets for the castle, the hop-on, hop-off, all of it. Link is in the description. 2 days in Palma. No plan. And the city gave us everything. A castle we climbed to by accident. Streets we wandered with no destination. A cathedral that left us speechless. A ficus tree that made me rethink what a ficus tree can be. Palma de Mallorca has been here for over 2,000 years, and it knows it. You can feel that confidence in every stone, every street, every wall that's been standing longer than most countries have existed. Give it a day, maybe 2. It will not disappoint. We're not done with this island, not even close. Next up, where we stayed. And if you're traveling with kids or just want a holiday that goes well beyond the beach, trust me, you'll want to see this one. Subscribe if you're new here. There's a whole week of Majorca still to come. See you in the next one.